Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number not even game number 3. This is still a one-game set, and there have actually been a lot more one-game series as of late. Now, on the top right-hand side of the map, we have I Wanna Change, who is actually Lex, spawning on the top right-hand side of Amazonia. Meanwhile, on the bottom left, we have Huntress shaped, also known as WarchiefRich, spawning as the green Night Elf. This is once again my focus into the Night Elf versus Undead matchup, as watching different players play the same matchup over and over is really helpful for me to try and analyze and figure out what types of strategies are common. In the previous game, we saw that there was an Ancient of War followed by an Altar of Elders, and the Altar of Elders ended up grabbing a Tavern Hero. As interesting of a game as it was, it just wasn't very solid. It seemed like there were a lot of loose ends, there was a lot of unpredictability, and because of that, things just didn't work out all too well. We'll see what's going to happen with a traditional Demon Hunter this time around, and I am curious as to why Huntress-shaped, WarchiefRich, decided to go for a Demon Hunter over a Warden. The Warden is generally stronger at taking down ghouls since it slows down the ghoul, and it kind of nullifies the fact that, or it takes advantage of the fact that the Altar of Darkness and Altar of Darkness trains up a Death Knight who gets Unholy Aura. With all of that said, we are getting the crypt there. There is also the Tomb of Relics and another Ziggurat. We have no graveyard coming in, so it will be ghouls first. Coming back around, there's that Ancient of War. You can see the Renegade Wizard down off over here, and we are going to be suffering a little bit of damage on this Ancient of War as the Ancient of War is getting repaired. Lightning Shield now onto the Archer, as the Archer stands right in the right position to get a little bit of damage down. Needs to make sure that that Rogue doesn't fall. If that Rogue will not end up falling to that Archer's Lightning Shield, but every little bit of damage helps. Coming back around, the Death Knight should be popping up momentarily. Nope, he is significantly delayed. And this I am kind of scratching my head about. It doesn't look like he did anything to really show... Wait, what is this? A second crypt. Okay, a double crypt opening, gonna pull off all of the ghouls now, and we may see him do a mad run down. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter is already on his way to the north. He has the Claws of Attack +6, and he is going to be going up against and spotting all of these ghouls. He's trying to give a little bit of damage here, but he also does not have Boots of Speed, so he's not going to be able to catch up to the units nearly as quickly. All right, Demon Hunter now making his way down. Death Knight with Unholy Aura now going to run those ghouls into overdrive as the Death Knight takes a blow from the glaive of that Demon Hunter. Now coming back around, there is only one Archer, and this is now going to be your typical matchup that is oh so difficult. Second Ancient of War going to quickly get torn apart here. Down it goes. The Archer is not going to be able to do very much of anything, and this is the reason why I say go Warden first. You can see that there are currently two Archers on the field here. The Demon Hunter is going after some of the units, and you can see one ghoul has been taken down. A second ghoul could perhaps get taken down here, as there are now mana burns onto that Death Knight. All right, the Wisp are now running in and out of that gold mine here and doing a very good job. I must say, WarchiefRich is perhaps defending this rush as well as I have seen any player defend this rush. Now those ghouls are running all the way back. Back over here, you can see that the fortified armor on this Ancient of War is really preventing any of the damage from that Apprentice Wizard. Demon Hunter obviously buying some Boots of Speed and now making his way off to the north. Low hit point Wisp trying to run for his life. Meanwhile, the ghoul is right there, and oh, he might get caught up on a squirrel. No, the rabbit decides to not do anything of that nature, as you can see that the Wisp is still running back and away. All right, it does regenerate hit points, so it should be able to take another blow, and yes, it looks like it will be able to do that as the Demon Hunter arrives to finish off that ghoul. So far, so good. Ancient of War of Warchief will make his way back, reroute himself, perhaps eat a couple of trees as well, as we are now looking at the tech to tier 2. There is the double crypt, which means that it will be gargoyles. archers are the key defending unit against those gargoyles, but the problem is because that one of the Ancient of Wars were taken down, if this is not spotted out quickly enough, the Demon Hunter is not going to be able to lead enough archers to try and take down those gargoyles. That is a lot of skeletal or ghouls there. However, if the ghouls are falling, many of the crypts will be trying to rebuild up ghouls as opposed to getting gargoyles. Units are now backing away. Death Knight getting mana burned again. Demon Hunter now chasing from the north, and the Demon Hunter really using mana burn to just deal damage to the Death Knight more than anything else. Oh, they can take a look at this. You can see that the Demon Hunter has taken a fair bit of damage. Are we going to perhaps see the Death Knight get taken out? And there goes the Demon Hunter, as now the rest of the units need to run. All right, the Death Knight going to try and re-lead this army. This is going to be very, very dangerous, but the archers look like they have got enough of a bit of distance. And now are they going to head and stay by the tavern? Yes, they will resurrect that Demon Hunter who is currently just hiding out. No, gonna pick up a Naga Sea Witch perhaps, or maybe a panda. If WarchiefRich was able to spot this crypt in the very, very far back, he may opt to go for a panda. Panda with Breath of Fire is exactly what you need to try to counter that gargoyle. So with this, it looks as though WarchiefRich realizes what is on the table, and with that, Panda should be able to Breath of Fire down any of those gargoyles as they start stacking up. All right, however, he could get creepjacked as we see a rather large army of ghouls already coming in. Let's take a look at this. Rock Golem, you can see that the Panda is now trying to fight his way through. He has taken a serious bit of damage back over here. Double Wisp does catch all of this. Naga Sea Witch about to apply some very, very quick pressure, and this is going to be a very, very bad day. The Panda needs to perhaps take down that Golem and now run all the way back. Perfect potion of mana in order to deal with all of those ghouls as the Demon Hunter does make his way out. All right, little bit of bad news there. Oh, are we going to see the Breath of Fire? There's the Breath of Fire, but it hits the Death Knight instead of hitting the ghouls. Not exactly sure what to expect there as the Panda now down to 120 hit points. All right, if he can turn around. Oh, Death Coil, down goes the Panda. There is a mana burn, but too little, too late. And yeah, just going after the ghouls would have been a much better choice as opposed to going after the Panda, or going after the Death Knight. Panda now getting resurrected. It does resurrect extremely quickly since it is a level 1 hero. Archers are now trying to run away, but the Death Knight, if it does regroup with the army, will be able to catch up all of these ghouls. Gargoyle production is now underway. Death Knight, Demon Hunter, Naga Sea Witch all backing away from each other now. A lot of very full Moonwells, which is exactly what we need to see as we are now going into an Ancient of Lore. Tree of Eternity already nearing teching as we are looking at one Ancient of Wonders, one Ancient of Lore. There's a second Ancient of Lore, but that means it's going to be quite some time before we have the at least the adept training on those bears for rejuvenation. Let's come back around. The Panda still sitting at level 1, perhaps can finish creeping this creep camp here. He did lose a lot of mana, and the downside on a level 1 Panda is that he only has a maximum of 225 mana. He's not going to be able to use Breath of Fire that efficiently. He needs to get to at least level 3 where he has 270 mana at least, or maybe even pick up a Circlet of Nobility. All right, there's a mana burn. There is the units, and what's going on with all these units here? The Panda could turn around. Breath of Fire, that's exactly what we need to see. No Breath of Fire, even though there was a whole bunch of units all clustered together. Demon Hunter now trying to get away. Cold on that Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter trying to slip off to the north. Death Knight trying to get ahead of him, but unable to do so. That Demon Hunter, just one slippery fellow, able to head back. All right, coming back around. Gargoyle is being added. The Demon Hunter, uses a replenishment potion only to run into the rest of the army. And we all saw that one coming as the Demon Hunter teleports back home at level 2. All right, there he is. He teleports back home. Needs to use those Moonwells. Gets those Moonwells back up. What's happening next? Panda still has a Staff of Preservation to try and save that Demon Hunter in the upcoming fights. And here we go. All right, let's go. No Breath of Fire again. All right, if WarchiefRich loses this game, it's going to be because he is not Breath of Firing, and he finally gets it down. But if he had done that earlier, he could perhaps already do it again, as everything would already be on cooldown. Demon Hunter now trying to engage here. The Moonwells were already drained earlier, as WarchiefRich is just getting destroyed. We're perhaps going to see another Breath of Fire there. There you go. Demon Hunter stabs himself in the chest, and that is going to be the game. The Panda now hoping to perhaps use, not even using the Potion of Greater Mana, and that's what ends up happening. If you don't use Breath of Fire well, the ghouls and those gargoyles will simply overrun you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this game.